Welcome back, and in this one we're going over system permissions. The system permissions are the main ones we're going to be looking at are basically tokens, and in Windows tokens basically just grant authorization, like that be to a process or to a user, and that will just give us or can give us some elevated privileges. So how we display what we're able to do, what privileges we have, is through whoami/priv, and that basically says the user that we currently are and what security privileges that we currently have. It should be one of the first things you check 'cause it's a nice easy win, especially if there's something on there that looks obscure. It most likely is probably the way in. So if you want to look for more tokens that I'm not going to mention, Hacktricks does a good mention of it. If you look on Windows or Microsoft's what's called MSDN themselves, they will go through a lot of security tokens and why they are bad or shouldn't be granted, or the case in which they should and shouldn't be granted. That's a really good one as well, straight from the horse's mouth. Some interesting ones straight away that piqued my interest. So right away, SE impersonate privilege. Anything that's got privilege in the name or impersonation, that's probably something you want to look at. Manage volume, really cool little exploit that I'm mentioning. Backup privilege, debug privilege, and load driver privilege. So those last two, if you're unfamiliar why they'd be pretty bad. Debug privilege, that basically gives you administrative rights, or it can do. A debug privilege allows just elevated privileges from a normal user. You can do more with it. Load driver privilege, that's obviously like kernel. You're loading it into low level memory, so it's just not something a regular user should be able to do. Um, Manage volume, with that you can essentially access any um, file on the main drive, essentially, if you're in the right environment. And backup privilege, I believe with that privilege there, as it sounds, you just can create copies of folders. I think I'm not actually too sure on that one. So straight into it, token impersonation. Token impersonation attacks occur when a low privilege user has the SE impersonate privilege right set. So for Windows version server 2016 and below, you can use a potato attack, and there's various different ones like golden potato. My mind's gone blank as I'm doing this, but there are different ones to use for different systems and things like that. For 2016 and higher, try print spoofer. I believe there's some potato attacks that can run up to higher Windows versions, but I'm not entirely sure which ones those are. I don't use them. I just use juicy potato personally. And if using MetaPreter, use the get system command to list potential exploit paths. So get system will basically do this job for you. If you've got a MetaPreter shell, it'll show what privilege, or if you've got the rights there, what you can potentially do. And I believe there's 3 paths forward, and it's good to have a little read up on what they can do. They're good for different scenarios. So right here, as we're looking, who am I/priv. So if we was on this machine, we'd see straight away impersonate privilege, impersonate client after authentication. It's enabled, so right away it would be trying to basically try and do a potato attack or a print spoofer attack, seeing if any of them get us anywhere. As I already mentioned, there's different types of potato attacks. This one, just an example, rotten potato. So juicy potato and its variants won't work on modern systems greater than Windows 10 1809 and greater, and Windows Server 2019, whereas print spoofer, rogue potato, and other potato variants will. So that's always something to be aware of. If one isn't going to work, don't just be like, oh, Sam, it can't be done. Have another look around and see what other variants and what version of Windows you have running on. So print spoofer, it's a more modern sort of token-based attack. Quite a simple one. This one you literally just put in some commands. It doesn't require any CLS IDs or anything. You just, as you can see here, you just run the executable if the system's vulnerable, a command that you want to use, and off it goes. This one works on more modern systems, so Windows 10 and even Windows 11 systems, I believe, and I think some potato ones work on more modern versions as well. I just can't entirely remember which one's which. So other permissions to be aware of. Always check for other interesting permissions if any exploitation is available, such as FC manage volume, allows full unprivileged access to the C drive. If you don't recognise it, look it up and check everything. So there's exploits available for SE manage volume, which basically will allow you to copy and edit files in the C drive, and there's a way you can spawn a privileged shell through that.